Hey, my friends, welcome to the Dallas Daily Show podcast coming at you from the Neighborhood Loans studio here in St. Louis, Missouri. Today's topic is, yes, we are still talking about the boys being home during summer break. And today's topic is laser tag. What are the rules? All right, let's get into the conversation. Okay, my friends. So we've been talking this week about this idea of summer break, the boys being home, all that fun goodness. And two of the boys the other day were playing laser tag. That's where you wear kind of a vest or a chest plate that has a little sensor receptor on it, receiver, I should say. I'm sorry. And then you've also got a little gun that shoots a laser. Bing, bing. You know, but it doesn't make that noise. I actually think they added the ding, ding, ding when you hit and stuff like that. So you're wearing on your chest some kind of vest apparatus harness that is a receiver, and then you've got the laser gun that you're shooting, bang, 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 and if the laser connects to the receiver, then you earn a point, and the other person loses a life point, etc. And you play through different rounds, and you do the thing. So I could hear two of my three children, the youngest two, let's just say it. Arthur, they're not going to listen. Arrow, whose voice is at the end of this, and then Arthur, and I could hear them starting. And man, it's great when kids start playing. It's fantastic. And then it turned, and then all of a sudden it was, "Hey, you're not supposed to do that. Well, what are you doing?" Right? It was all of a sudden, "Stop it, quit." And then I hear my wife's voice serenely come through from where she's working in the house. "Boys, is everything okay?" That's actually not what it sounded like at all. It's higher pitched. You've heard her talk. She was on the pod a couple of weeks ago. "Boys, is everything okay? Boys, stop it." And I'm working, and I can hear it through a closed door. It's escalating, and it's elevating, and oh man, it's getting bigger. I can see where this is going to go. "Arthur, stop this. Like, stop that. Arrow, quit." No. And then it's not laser sounds. It's literally the sound of exploding emotions as the boys are screaming at each other. And then I set down what I'm doing, and I walk out, and I say, "All right, everybody, come here." By this point, their limbic systems, poor little guys, are in total overload. and I come and I make them sit down side by side with each other, which they do not want to do. And that dad thing in me is like, this is so pleasurable to watch them squirm. So I sit them down and I say, "Okay, what just occurred here?" And then all of a sudden, of course, they both start. And I'm like, no, one at a time. Arrow, what about you? Arthur, what about you? Tell me what occurred, etc. And here's the crazy thing. Was Arrow didn't know something that Arthur thought was a rule. And so what Arrow was doing was he was laying down on the floor and shooting, but because of that, it was covering up his vest receiver. And he was shooting, and Arthur's like, "You can't lay like that. You got to stand up. You can't hide the receiver." Right? That's what was going on that side. And of course, Arrow didn't know that. But then Arrow had a he was asking for a timeout so he could reset. And when he was asking for the timeout, Arthur thought it was funny to just shoot up his vest a bunch of times. They were going to reset the game anyway. But that level 10 to Arrow, because Arthur was like, bing, 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 ding, 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 like getting all the receivers on him, right? So Arrow was saying Arthur was cheating by not playing by the rules because he wouldn't hold for the timeout while Arrow reset his vest, which is what Arthur was upset about because Arrow had laid down on the ground and covered the vest. You see what I'm saying here? So, long story short, what we realized was there are just a couple of rules we need to agree upon. And so the communication guy in me came out and said, "Guys, we've got a gap here between what we're doing and what we both expect the rules to be. So let's discuss the rules. Let's see what we think about that." And once we did, calm was restored, and then pew, 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 it starts up again, right? Everything's good. Everything's copacetic again. And I just was thinking to myself how often we have relational conflict, you and I. That we have relational conflict because we have not established what the rules of engagement are. We actually, the way that I speak with producer Taylor is vastly different than one of the mortgage guys here who's a buddy of mine, Brian Beilstein, which, by the way, Brian Beilstein, I'm giving you a shout out right now here at Neighborhood Loan Studios. Brian Beilstein's a great mortgage officer here. He and I have known each other for about 5-6 years. We have a different rules of engagement than producer Taylor and I have. Producer Taylor and I have different rules of engagement than my wife and I have. My brother David and I have different rules of engagement. You see what I'm saying? So we have to take the time to know the level of the person with whom we are speaking, what the rules of engagement are, so that we don't abuse that person, so that we don't abuse that relationship. And when we cross the boundary and we see them getting frustrated, the best thing we can do is say, oh, I broke a rule. And it may have been an unspoken rule, but I can tell by your anger, your frustration, your disappointment, your sadness, somehow I broke a rule that you have. So what did I do? Otherwise, that gap widens, the frustration gets larger, and then the relationship can actually fall apart. But if we want to grow toward each other, the best thing we can do is we can figure out what the rules of engagement, the rules of communication, might be a better way for you and I to say it. What those rules of communication would be, so that I can say the thing that lifts you up, so that I can build you up, so that I can help you up, so that I can be a better version of me for you. It's a really thought-provoking concept. I once heard somebody say, I'm forgetting who, but they said that a different version of you exists in the mind of every person you've ever met. I find that really intriguing. Taylor has different thoughts about Dallas than Brian does. Brian has different thoughts than Meg does. Meg has different thoughts than her parents do, or my brother. Like, everybody has a different experience on Dallas. Some of you think I'm a total villain. Others of you think I'm really a hero. Others of you just think I'm a funny goofball dad. It's totally fine. But what I realize is when I'm engaging with you, there's rules of communication so that I can show up and be my best for you. So how can you be your best for others? When you have think to one relationship where you have a typical level of tension with that one person, where there's typical tension. Is there a way that you can figure out maybe where you've breached some rules, whether spoken, agreed to, or not? And if so, you'll go a long way in repairing that relationship. All right, my friends, that's all I got for you today. Go out there, repair those relationships, find out the rules of engagement, the rules of communication, and more importantly than that, have a championship day.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more tools, go to DallasDailyShow.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.